Hello and welcome to the top 10 speed characters on Bleach Brave Souls. Before I begin, just a few things. Number 1, there are a lot of really good speed characters. So just because you don't see it on the list doesn't mean it's not a good character. We are in the point of the game where there's way more than 10 top tier characters of a certain attribute, so some of them are bound not to make it on here. Secondly, much like the last list, I will not be including the Senkaimon versions of Aizen or Zangetsu, as they're not exclusive to one attribute. With that said, let's begin.
フルブリングってのはね、愛の力なの。
Now I know I'm asking for trouble for putting this character at number 10, and honestly I hate myself for doing it, because I find Riru to be extremely annoying. That said, when comparing her to the rest of the characters that didn't make it on the list, I found that overall, she was slightly more useful than those who didn't, and one of the biggest reasons is for her infinite boost capability. Her strong attack 2 is a boost move with enhancer, and because of her strong attack recharge link, you can build her in a way that essentially keeps this going, allowing her to deal more damage but also boosting the rest of the team's attack, defense, and focus, making her fairly useful in any team co-op. This boost move also lets her deal damage in every single way. She already has a super high SP as well as frenzy, but with the boosted attack, her normal attacks are going to deal damage as well. Riru can also inflict debilitating weakening on a strong attack 1, 3, and her special, which then allows her to deal even more damage and can come in handy in specific situations. Finally, there's the fact that she's a human with an Arankar killer, meaning she's not only super effective against Arankar, but also has no real weaknesses in any inheritance zone or droplet zone, meaning you're safe to take her in any one of those that has Arankars as enemies. It's for this reason that I decided to put her at number 10 above any of the people you'll see in the honorable mentions, which is a shame because I really like all of those a lot more than I like her.
どんな力も触れなければ等しく平等。恐れるに足りる力なのです。
Next on the list is another support character that can also bring the damage. This time it's Hachigen, the much needed remake of this character. This Hachi has a really high SP as well as frenzy, and can inflict debilitating paralysis on all of his attacks with the exception of his strong attack 2. They all also have really good range, and this includes his normal attack, as he is a ranged character. As I mentioned, his strong attack 2 doesn't inflict paralysis, and this is because this is his support move. Hachi's strong attack 2 grants barriers for him and the rest of the team, and thanks to his strong attack recharge link, this move as well as the rest of them come back faster than normal. Lastly, we have the fact that he's completely immune to being weakened, which is definitely a nice thing to have. Honestly, it took a lot longer than I'd expect for them to remake this character, but I'd say they pretty much nailed it.
プラソイリスケルダ・デル・ディアブロそんなことが
Well, speaking of remakes that the game got right, up next is the best example of that, and I can really only be referring to Chad. Now Chad has a high attack of 733. It's not exactly as high as some of the characters that came out after him or even before him, but he does have something to make up for this, and that's his strong attack 2. It's a boost move and he does have enhancer. Now unlike Riruka's boost, his actually means a lot more for his attack. They do both boost the team's attack, defense, and focus by 33%, except his pushes his attack to over 950. On top of that, he's actually got Flurry, which means his normal attack is gonna hit twice. And with the addition of Poise, it means that this character is not only decent for PvE, including autoing, but also really good for PvP, since his strong attack 2 can't really be stopped, unless of course he's frozen, paralyzed, or they kill him before he manages to use it, though that's pretty unlikely. Chad can also inflict paralysis on a strong attack 1, strong attack 3, and his special. That said, it's not debilitating paralysis, but it can still come in handy. On top of this, he's got a damage reduction soul trait that makes him harder to kill. He's a human, meaning that there's not really killers against him in PvE, and he's got a captain killer, which if I'm being honest is kind of a negative, especially at this point in the game. Even so, there's no denying this character is really good, and definitely deserves to be on this list.
俺の中の力の全部これでてめえを倒す行くぜ
Now we go from a character that's primarily used for PvP to a character primarily for PvE. I'm talking about Quincy Ichigo, who not only has a really high SP but also frenzy, and can inflict debilitating weakening on everything. He's also extremely likely to do it, since his attacks have a really high hit count, including his normal attack, which is piercing and hits every enemy twice. His strong attack 1 is a pushback move with really good range, as well as a really high hit count, and his strong attack 2 has a 180 mag. It splits off in 3 directions so the enemies don't take as much damage individually, but it does have a really good range, helps to rapidly increase the combo, and is extremely likely to inflict weakening. In addition to inflicting weakening, he's also completely immune to freezing, plus he's got an extra flash step making it easier to dodge specials, and just in general get through areas faster. This Ichigo also comes equipped with the boosted strong attack recharge link and a no affiliation killer, which it's not the best thing he could have, but it's definitely better than his Spada, Captain, or human killers. Plus he's no affiliation himself, so at least as of right now there's not really any PvE stuff that has a killer against him, and that's always nice.
春光来獣戦人流国病戦役
Next up is the manga version of Yoroichi Shihoin, who has a really high SP and frenzy. In addition to this, she's also got a strong attack damage link, so that's even more damage that her strong attacks are gonna deal. And it gets even better, because when she uses her special, she completely transforms. Her strong attacks come back immediately, and they also deal more damage, as they go from a 120 mag to a 150 mag, meaning that if you wanted to, you could actually use 6 strong attacks in a row. Her strong attacks aren't the only thing that changes, as her normal attack changes as well. Not only is there an increase in magnification, but there's an increase in range, as she lunges when you use an attack. It is a little harder to control, but she does encompass a wider area, so it's a pretty good trade-off. Plus, did I mention all of her attacks can inflict debilitating paralysis, so being able to use all these moves in a row, and having the additional range, increases the likelihood of her being able to do that. Plus, when she uses her special, she does summon a 5-second lightning vortex, which at this point just adds to the greatness of this character. Plus, since she's a Yoroichi, she's also got an extended number of flash steps, letting her finish a stage so much faster, and allowing her to dodge enemy specials. She's definitely one of my favorite characters, and one of the few that I have max link slots on.
ほな、行くで。逃げても無駄や。僕の炎はしつこいで。
Next on the list, we have the Spirit Society version of Ginichimaru, who, much like most of the characters on this list, also has a really high SP and frenzy. That said, out of all the characters on this list, he's actually the best support character, as his strong attack 2 is a heal move and he has a strong attack recharge link, meaning that if you wanted to, you can cut his wait time for his strong attacks by over 50%, letting you heal the entire team every 15 seconds or so. That's not his only useful strong attack, as he can inflict debilitating burn on the other 2, as well as his normal attack and his special. His normal attack, by the way, is piercing and hits twice, increasing the likelihood of inflicting the burn as well as the combo. On top of all this, he's also got a Soul Reaper killer, which is still the best thing to have. All of this makes him one of the best support characters, not just in the speed attributes, but also the entire game. And it won't be that long until you get a chance to summon for him.
その命よほどいらぬと見える。何をしている。行くぞ。
Next up, we have yet another seasonal character. This time, it's the White Day version of Byakuya. Or I guess I should say more specifically the Cacao Society version, since there is technically another White Day version. Anyway, this one has a really high SP as well as frenzy. He's also got debilitating paralysis on all of his attacks, including a really powerful strong attack too, assuming you use it correctly, of course. It's a 160 mag, and the closer you are to the enemies, the more damage it does. It does, however, push him back, so to get the most out of it, they would either need to be paralyzed, frozen, or pinned up against the wall. Lucky for Byakuya, everything he has can inflict paralysis, so this is a really good thing for him to have, and it does like boss killing levels of damage. Additionally, he's also completely immune to being paralyzed himself. The other strong attacks he has are also pretty good. They've got decent range, including a full screen strong attack 3. This Byakuya also has a Soul Reaper killer and a strong attack recharge link. Honestly, he's just a really well-rounded character with a killer strong attack 2. That's why he made it so high on this list.
少し試してみるとしよう。今の君の目には何が見えているのかな。
あとは頼みます。
Next on the list is Parasol Aizen, who is by far my favorite Aizen in this game. Not only does he have a really high attack, but he's got a ridiculous plus 80 bruiser and a normal attack damage link. He's essentially got the equivalent of Flurry, since the magnification on his normal attack is 100%. That said, his normal attacks still hit once, but they do have a chance to inflict debilitating paralysis, along with his strong attacks. Speaking of which, even though he's a normal attack character, they're really useful. He's got a plus 40 Berserker, and his strong attack 2 is a vortex move that surrounds him, which is actually extremely useful for a normal attack character to have, as it doubles as a shield, and in his case has a high chance to inflict paralysis. Combine this with an additional sprinter and you've got yourself one of the best speed characters in the game. Also, he twirls when he dodges.
屍ともしばし戦の優越をくれてやる。天下の太刀南赤10万億士大王子。みんな。
Coming in at number 2 is the manga version of Yama, who has an SP of 792, Frenzy, and debilitating burn on every attack. Additionally, he has a strong attack recharge link, which means that if built correctly, you can pretty much spam his strong attacks and burn everyone to the ground. Speaking of which, his strong attacks all have pretty good range. Though I'm not gonna lie, I am a little bit disappointed of how not flashy they are. I was expecting something a bit more visually awesome for the head captain of the 13 Core God squads, but there is still a chance they'll make a second version of him, so I still have hope. Still, as basic as this version is, he is still really good, and the fact that he's completely immune to freezing and burning make him even better, since it's 2 hazards you won't have to worry about. Finally, there's his special, that not only does a decent amount of damage by itself, but also leaves Yama with a vortex that surrounds him, which then deals additional damage and also has a chance to inflict burn. If I'm being honest, he's probably the best PvE character on this list, when it comes to dealing damage anyway, and he was actually extremely close to being number 1. And before I get to number 1, here are a few honorable mentions.
挽回加点胸骨絡松真珠俺にて大詰め締めの段糸切りばさみ血染めの喉笛俺たちの力の源はいわば怨念てめえの力はこんなもんかよ抜かせ
調子に乗ってられんのもまだ切るぞ参ったな随分と警戒されてるんすねどうしちゃもらえませんか
挽回発火の咎めこれが私の残白刀の真の力だ
Finally, at number 1, we have Espada number 9, Aronniero. Now, like I said, him and Yama were extremely close. Like Yama, he also has a really high SP and Frenzy, only he's able to inflict debilitating weakening on everything. Which, while burn is better damage-wise, weakening serves a bit more of a purpose, since you can use it against bosses to basically nullify their special once they use it. Aronniero also has 2 immunities to status elements, his being weakened and paralysis resistance. He also has a Soul Reaper Killer, which is slightly better than Yama's Hollow Killer. Aronniero also has a strong attack recharge link, so like Yama, he can spam his strong attacks, and his also have pretty good range. Though if I'm being honest, Yama has a slightly better range. That said, the real reason I put him over Yama is actually his special. Yama's may leave behind a 5-second vortex, but Aronniero's heals the party for 60%, which is definitely better. I wouldn't exactly classify him as a support character, but it can be a huge asset to the party, or to himself, in basically any situation. And it's for all this that I decided to put him at number 1. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for some more top 10 lists.